Well, for 35, 40 years, most of what I did was build satellite ground stations. That was a very comfortable business. The technology changed somewhat from year to year, but basically it was a lot of program management, knowing the people in the industry that provided product, being able to design a good system, get it done on time, and get it done within budget. Relatively straightforward, built a lot of Intelsat gateway earth stations, pretty much a satellite earth station supplier. And I could have easily done that for the next 100 years. It would have been fine because it was profitable and it was a very comfortable business. As you know, the business changed quite a bit. What happened is earth stations became more of a commodity, became a lot smaller, a lot less expensive because of the higher power satellites, new modulation techniques, new kinds of techniques for mobile access. And really, if you were going to really survive and grow in this business, we had to do a lot of different things. So in '96, we decided to go and we started the company in '94. In '96, we decided that there was a need to provide internet services to developing countries. We had pretty much stayed out of the service business all these years, mainly because we didn't want to compete with our customers. However, we saw an opportunity where satellite could bring internet to developing countries that really needed it. So we started a company called NetSat Express. That had a lot of ramifications for us because being a company that provided internet services, we had to learn a lot about IP and sending IP by satellite. And learning how to do this and do it efficiently has probably helped us a lot over the years because there's been a convergence of technology where video and voice and data is all run on IP platforms. And as a result of us getting into the business earlier, I think we became leaders in that business. I think we also started looking at a lot of different other applications. One of the things we decided to do was to try to come up with something new every year, come up with a new product every year or a new market every year. So we pushed this service business pretty hard. We did very well up to about 2000. Our company did very well. The stock did very well. Being in the internet business was a big plus at that time, as you probably know. And our stock went up to about $40 a share, really based on really just a bubble that a lot of companies were following. I mean, there were companies losing billions of dollars that were doing extremely well in the market. So it was a very nice time to be in that business. What happened in that business was the fiber really started coming into a lot of locations we were providing broadband services to. So we had to expand that business and start doing different things too. So two things happened. Satellite earth stations became a commodity business. Fiber came in for broadband internet services. So we started doing a lot of scurrying around. 9/11 happened, and we were pretty much out in the cold as far as government contracts were concerned. The government started spending a lot of money in our area. They were buying against IDIQ contracts that we were not part of. So we had to do a lot of scurrying around to try to increase our government business, try to increase our service business. We made a decision in 2000 to really go after government, 2000, 2001, to go after government and to go after services business in a big way. And here we are 10 years later, 10 years later, and we went from under 10% government to over 50% government now. We went from about $15 million to $20 million a year of service business to this year well over $100 million of service business. So our two major objectives were reached. About doing other things, well, we became a very large supplier now of video services. We now provide something in the order of 500,000 video hours a year with about 35, 40 channels. We got into the cellular business. In 2001, we built a complete triple play system in Tonga using all IP techniques. So we were providing internet service, cellular services, broadband data services, and voice and video, all to one customer, all using IP platforms. This was a great learning experience for us. We learned a lot. The tuition was sort of high, but we did learn a lot. And we are now, I think, a very good supplier in both those areas, in all those areas. We do provide voice over IP services. We do provide video services, like I say. We also have really labeled the business for cellular backhaul as being a major business, and cellular hosting services. We have actually now 3 switches, cellular mobile subscriber switches in our facility, 2 GSM switches and 1 CDMA switch. We recently added a $4 million Ericsson switch that has all the features of a modern GSM network. So we do 2 things in the cellular area. We provide infrastructure, build base stations, provide switching, and in addition to that, and the biggest contract we have there is in Alaska, where we're providing for GSI a 200-site cellular GSM system on an infrastructure basis. From a hosted services business, what we've developed here is the ability to provide the switching capability for small cellular companies. We can provide their roaming services, we can provide their billing services, and a small to medium-sized cellular operator would not have to go ahead and buy his own switch or maintain his own switch or provide engineering to provide the type of services that he needs. We can provide that for him, and we think that's a great growth area for us. The voice over IP services has been a good business for us. We hope to combine that with the cellular to be able to provide more services there and get more minutes business there. We think there's a very good opportunity for high-definition video. We're now providing more high-definition channels. We provided an all-IP-based high-definition MPEG-4 cellular video broadcast center with the RF plus the broadcast center in India. We did the same thing for SES Americom. I think we're leaders in IP video. We recently made a decision to get into the maritime business. We feel that's a very good business with a good future because we don't think we're going to compete an awful lot with fiber being on a ship. So that area plus tactical radios that we provide for the military, again, we feel that's a good growth area because, again, we're not going to compete with terrestrial fiber. We have invested in building new tactical terminals for the military. We recently came out with a new ManPack small terminal, and we think we give the government a lot of value in a lot of different areas, and that's why we've been able to grow that area. We also now provide, we're up to about $45 million in a contract to provide force tracking system that tracks vehicles and troops in Afghanistan for NATO. So this is another new area that we're in. So there's something new coming up all the time, and building satellite earth stations is something which is our expertise, but is getting to be a smaller and smaller part of our business. As an example, if we build a video broadcast center like we did in India, that's about a $22–23 million job. About $4 million of it was devoted to satellite, the rest was broadcast center. So it gives you some idea. On the cellular business, there is satellite component if there is no terrestrial facilities available, but that's not a major part of our offering. So things have changed. We have to do a lot of different things that we didn't envision doing when we first started. So for a guy like me who's been in the business a long time, trying to learn a lot of new tricks, it's interesting, and but I'm fortunate to have a lot of people who know this stuff a lot better than I do. So we've been able to grow this business, and I think we provide a capability that is really second to none in what we do.